Water, water everywhere, not any drop to drink. Lovely. Right, as you can see, we've got a water line now. The water wasn't up to here. This has got soaked up. So when you look here, you can still see there's a good bit of water in there. So, yeah, we've got reversing sensor issues. This box has been pulled up out of the way of the water, but it was sitting in water. Not submerged, just kind of sitting in water. Hello and welcome to another Bodgit and Leggit video. Right, so as you can see, we have water everywhere. I've already diagnosed this car and I just want to kind of go through, we're going to go through this quickly so I show you what I did. This is the origin error code we got up, and as you can see, when you look at that error code, you might think, oh look, there's a wiring issue. This box is either fucked or there's a wiring issue, right? But not all cars. Some cars will say, oh, the rear left sensor's gone, or the rear middle left sensor. It will tell you. But some of them, like this Ford, when a sensor is gone, or depending on how it's gone, if it's crossed internally, it shuts the whole system down, and then you only get one generic error code. So you might start thinking, oh, I'm going to replace the box, I'm going to replace this. So I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to see exactly what's gone first. So what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the sensor plug going to the module, and what this tells me is, oh look, the whole fucking thing's come out. Well, that's actually a good thing, so you can see just how clean this is. There is no issues here, right? But what we need to do is I need to take this out. Let me just do that off. So I've now disconnected this wire here, so all the sensors now are disconnected, and the reason why I did that is because I wanted to see, can this module recognize that all 4 sensors have gone? If it does, I then know the module is okay and the wiring to the car is okay, because the module can sense that there is no issues with the sensors. Does that make sense? If it still gives you the same error code, then you know there's maybe an issue with the module or the wiring. So let's just plug the car in now and see what it says. And when we turn the car on, we get this error code coming up. So there we go. Parking aid malfunction. So that's what's coming up on the dash. Right, so then when I did that, I saw this, and as you can see, all the error codes now are coming up. So that's a really good thing. It now tells me that the module is working because it can sense that there's no sensors to it at all, and it also tells me that the wiring is okay. Very simple test. So that's now we got to do the next stage. If it didn't show this, we know it's a module or a wiring issue, but because it shows this, we know it's a sensor issue. Still could be a wiring issue from the module to the sensors. So it's either a wiring issue from the module to the sensors or the sensors itself. Now what I do have is this little sensor from Pico. It's actually really quite cheap. The actual sensor is, obviously the picoscope isn't, but the sensor is. Now I'm not using this on the picoscope. I'm going to be using this on the handheld snap-on multimeter, which is a 2-channel scope. But the issue is, when we have the initial error code, the system is completely shut down. The whole system is shut down, so you can't use this because every sensor is essentially dead. We need to try and wake up the system again. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plug that module plug back in. So we're going to plug this back in, and I'm going to reset everything, but I'm going to, before I turn it back on, I'm going to unplug all the sensors from the back of the bumper. Right, I've already done this part. I'm not going to do it again, but I'm going to explain what I did. So I unplugged each sensor, and I started from the back left. Oh, sorry, the back left sensor. That's where I started from. And then what I did is I plugged each sensor in individually. So I plugged the first sensor in, which happened to be that one, and then I reset the error codes, and I wanted to see what came back. What came back was the 3 sensors. Actually, I'll quickly show you. Right, so under the car, you can see one sensor's there, and one sensor is in there. See it there? Yeah. So what I'm going to do is unplug this one. Right. So now 3 are unplugged, only 1 is connected. Then we reset the codes and we do it again. Right. So now we've only got 3 sensors that are an issue because only 1 sensor is plugged in. But have you noticed how it actually tells me the sensors now? I know they're doubled up, so don't worry about that. But what has gone is that, oh, I can't remember the initial fault now, you know, the wiring issue or the short to ground, whatever it said, that is now gone. So as far as the car is concerned, it's just 3 dodgy sensors. There's no wiring issue. And then what you do is you plug another sensor in. So I'm going to plug the sensor in next to it, the one I've just undone. Right, again, so erase the codes. The fucking glare on this screen is a nightmare. The battery is a bit low, and now I've only got 2 sensors that are an issue. So we now know that them 2 sensors we just plugged in are okay, and I'm going to double check with this sensor now. Watch this. Right, what I do when it comes to reversing sensors, and even, you know, the ones in the front, I always check it with this first because it takes seconds. So as you can see, we're reading nothing on our screen, and all I'm going to do is put this up to it. Now when I initially did this, all the sensors were dead because, like I said, the system was shut down. So I put that on there and look straight away. Look at that. Great signal. Take it off. Gone. Put it back on. And then for the other one, so for this one, all we're doing is we're just doing that. That's all we're doing. And again, another great signal, right? So instantly, I now know that these 2 sensors are good. We're question mark on the other 2, but at the minute, the system is working because we're getting a signal. I can even show you through the live data as well. So we know that these 2 sensors are working. We know our module is working because otherwise these wouldn't be working. So I just use that because it's really quick and easy. Right, so what I'm going to do is, as you can see, these are all the sensors. So basically the sensors at the minute aren't picking up absolutely anything. All I'm going to literally do is walk behind the car. So watch this. See, you can see the 2 sensors that I've just walked past are moving. Now nothing is moving because obviously the sensors that I'm at, look at my cool socks, look, see that, isn't that cool? Anyway, now that they're disconnected, so they're not going to read. I walk back and there we go. So again, with that, it's very simple to see that the computer inside is seeing that there is movement in the sensors. The actual my Pico thing is showing that, you know, there is movement in the sensors. It's just the 2 ones we've unplugged. So let's plug them in and see what happens. I just want to show you this first. All I did, let's get the light on in this. Okay, so at the minute we have that one plugged in and we have this one plugged in, right? See that? And we know they're working because I've just proven they're working. So now come under here and I've just plugged in the 3rd one, and the 4th one is still unplugged. But look what's happened now. I've just plugged that one in and that's the look, power circuit. So instantly all the other error codes are gone. We've still got 1 unplugged, but according to this we've now got a power circuit issue, which, like I said originally, you might think, oh, hold on, I've got a power problem, you know, a wiring issue or a module issue. No, the way this sensor has gone is it's gone internally. I've got 2 sensors that have gone. No point plugging the other one because it does exactly the same thing. So I got 2 genuine sensors from Ford, and we're going to put them in and then we're going to be fine again. So as you can see, you don't really need this with this tool. That just makes my life easier because I can do it in seconds. I don't even need to turn on the scan tool. I just put the car in reverse and I can see it in seconds. But it's just good through this and through the live data. I can see that there is a sensor working, and I can also see that the car can see it, because sometimes you can have a sensor working but the car can't see it. So that would mean that there's maybe an issue between the box and the car, like a wiring issue or even a box issue. So that's why it's good to have multiple test things, so you can test, you know, I now know 1,000,000% that the two sensors are working, and I also know that the computer can see them. I also know when I disconnected all of them, we got all 4 error codes coming up. So I knew the module was working. Can you see how you can do this very easily? Now, obviously not on every module you can do this on everything, but you can see how very easy by disconnecting things, not really having any special tools. You could class this as a special tool, but you don't need it. I've proven that through the live data. I suppose you could class a scan tool as a special tool, but you know, some of them are so cheap now, you know, anyone can have them. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to bang 2 new sensors in, and it's going to solve a problem. So let me do that. I'll just do that off camera, and then yeah, this whole system will be working again. Right, I've just replaced one. Now I did tell the customer, look, it's going to be black, do you want it painted? And they were like, no, we just want it working, we're not bothered about the colour. This is the old sensor. Again, kind of visual looks, you know, it looks all right. It's a genuine Ford sensor. Doesn't particularly look, you know, there's no cracks that I can see. There's nothing obvious that stands out that that sensor is fucked, but internally it is. So I've just reset fault codes again with that sensor plugged in, and look, now we've only got one. Right rear outer, which I don't know why it's coming up with 2, but it's the same fault code, which is the only one we haven't replaced, or the one we haven't replaced yet, which is that one. As soon as we replace that one, this system will be working. And I know what you may be thinking, well, hold on, how do you know it wasn't a wiring issue and a sensor issue, and it was a sensor issue? Well, if it was a wiring issue from the sensor to the box, the error code would have come up. It wouldn't have done that. Again, I can't remember what that error code was at the bottom, you know, the power circuit. It wouldn't have come up with that necessarily. When I plugged each one of them back in, it would have come up that there's an issue with just one of the sensors. So that's basically what told me that it wasn't. Also, what you can do, which I also did do, just to be 100% sure, there's a couple of tests you can do. It's very simple. Just do a continuity, not a continuity, because continuity test wastes time. Do an ohms test from the plug to this plug. Very, very simple. I already did that. And then you can tell that the wiring is good. You know, that only takes a couple of seconds. So basically, that's how I knew. Let's get this other sensor. On closer inspection, I can see what's happened. Let me just zoom in. Look at that. It's actually cracked. So all that stuff there is to protect the little circuit board behind it, right? Inside there, all that potting. And it's over time has shrunk and cracked. And I guarantee you water's got in there and just completely corroded them. So yeah, you can actually clearly see it there now. It's not that obvious at first, you have to get them out and see, but yeah, you can see it's all cracked. I can already hear the car beeping because it is close. There we go, look, boom, no error codes. I can hear the car beeping because it's picking up that pole, and you can hear it now because it's picking up me. So let's just go in here, start it up, take it out of reverse, keys low in the battery, the boot's open, we know that. Everything else turns off. Put it in reverse. There we go. See, it's detecting in the dash. So there we go. The whole system is back up and working. That's why you can't really rely on error codes as such, because, you know, if you just look at that error code, you might think there's a wire cut somewhere, or damaged module, damaged ECU, you know, damaged BCM, depending on where it goes. So there can be a lot of things that at play. Disconnect everything that's on that, and then you can see if the module comes alive again, because like I said, once it detected one was out, and especially the way it was out, it was crossed internally, it completely kills the system to stop itself getting damaged. So that means all of them doesn't work, and it means it gives you that kind of generic error code that might get you going into another place when it's actually the thing you were staring at originally. So look, as always, hope it helps. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Don't forget, links up here, links down below, but most importantly, don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one. Sweet.